Everybody to another match of the Ris3n competitive clash. Let's get right into things here with introducing our players in the bottom right-hand corner. It's the red Terran player, it's Koda. And up in the top left-hand corner, it's the blue Terran player, it is Wrath. Now, obviously, we're in the Ris3n competitive clash. Both these guys representing Ris3n competitive here. And both of them in the fabled Four Horsemen stablery that Ris3n competitive, those guys claim to have here, and we're gonna have them going head to head. And I gotta feel like right now, Wrath coming off of a bit of a break from the game. He's been coming back into it, and his play is improving, but we haven't really seen him hit the level that he did when he left. Versus Koda, who is coming off of a red hot form in semi-pro, just in absolutely beastly form right now. I feel like Koda's kind of the favorite here. That said, he did tell me, and he has stated very many times that he does not like playing Wrath in TVT. Wrath, a well-known mech player, and mech in TVT, if executed properly, can be very, very obnoxious and difficult to deal with. So we're going to have to see how Koda, who knows that that's the case, deals with it. Knowing that Wrath will play mech does add a dimension to the game, right? Unlike most of the time when you actually have to scout and figure out what your opponent's doing, with Wrath, you kind of know. And it's kind of up to you to have the answers at that point. And that's what's going to be asked of Koda here in this series. So far, we're at the literal mirrored openings point, where we just see they're just building the exact same things. GT Kong doesn't have enough monitors. That's true. We've got a ton of content going on tonight. It's pretty crazy. But GT Kong wins the gold star for the most involved person ever, because he's tabbing, he's got multiple monitors. Okay, shit's going crazy over there. Here we see the first divergence in play here. Wrath opting to get what I'm guessing is a quicker Cyclone versus the Hellions and Reapers here of Koda. Yeah, it's going to be a Cyclone. And if you use those Cyclones right, they're so good. They can lock onto one of these units and just run away and just kill it while taking no damage. However, it requires you to have the positioning and the control to take that fight. And someone like Koda with these units is going to be wanting to pounce on them and really get on top of it. So, could get a little bit dicey here. Now, I would be very, 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 very surprised if really at any point in this series Koda decides he wants to go mech versus mech with Wrath. Koda, I feel like while he has that mech play available to him, I've seen him do it. It's just not as good as his bio play. It's very good, and we've seen him use it quite successfully, especially since he can dynamically pull it out in the series. But he's always been at his best when he's doing the drop. Actually, as we see a pretty big engagement going in off here, but I think it's just going to be a trade. Yeah, it's just going to be a trade. As Wrath runs that down, a perfectly... No, actually, Wrath takes a much better trade, though. I'm sorry, I had that opposite. Yeah. It's actually a really good trade. But Koda, as I was saying, I mean, his ability to micro and multitask his bio has always been kind of the spectacle of his play, and I expect that's what we'll see a lot of from him in the series, as we've seen him pick apart mech players with drops and marauders and all that kind of stuff, but right now Wrath's up in his face with these Cyclones, and he really doesn't have an answer. Now there's one Cyclone, and he gets a great lock on there on one of the Cyclones of Wrath. And actually now his second Cyclone pops, and actually it was great bait there from Koda. What started off looking very dicey for him, he kind of turns into a reversal. Well done. Wrath still a little bit ahead in workers, but he's got the Raven out. That can be such a pivotal unit in those TVTs. The third CC also on the way here for Koda is really, really strong, as when you're playing bio versus mech, which now that we see the stim coming down, we know that it will be, you really want to maintain being like ahead on bases, right? You're more mobile, you're going to be more aggressive, and because of that, you want to be getting out on the map and taking those expansions. And Wrath is taking his third on location. I feel like if that goes uncontested, it's might be a little bit of a missed opportunity here for Koda. Unsurprisingly, here from Wrath, we see more factories being added on. There's the blue flame. So he's going to do that kind of battle mech and then transition afterwards into regular mech. With this tank up, if Koda kind of stays in his defensive range, he should be fine here. That Marine's going to get picked off. And I like this play. 2 Cyclones with a medevac to give them a little bit more mobility. Also can break the lock-ons of his opponent by loading up into the medevac. This is a really cool play here from Koda as he's sharking around looking for these guys. Now the danger here, of course, is that Wrath can get a lock-on the medevac. So if this engagement goes down, it could be a very interesting micro battle between the two of them. But it looks like they're just going to dodge each other for a little while longer. Still hunting around at the third. Does he see it? Okay, he sees it. He's going to lock onto it. It's just going to get repaired, it looks like. Here comes Koda. Locks on, or, oh, sorry, Wrath locks onto the medevac, just kills it. That's another great pickoff. And now Koda is kind of sitting down on supply a little bit. Wrath starting to grow and get bigger. Once again, Koda as the bio player typically wants to be the one hammering the blows here and picking off those units. Now he's got all these Cyclones. Wrath is starting to lock on to this. There's the stim in. Oh, and he picks off a Cyclone. That's a great pick there for Koda. Oh, he's looking for another one. Such a delicate dance here between those Cyclones who can do a lot of damage from a distance and those Marauders who want nothing more than to be up close and personal. But now we see the tank count getting added in, and once the tank count gets up, those Marauders cease to be as scary, as eventually tanks just, once you hit critical mass, they just murder things on the ground. That's just kind of the way it works. Now, the next thing that I feel like we want to be looking for here is air control. These Cyclones are a huge part for Wrath. Once he starts transitioning into Vikings to allow his tanks to get further vision, he can use those because in those Viking fights, getting a few lock-ons and just tearing down a few of the Vikings is super, super valuable. So Marauder heady here from Koda. I really like that. I really like that. Let's see. What's the tank count looking like? It's only wait. It's only 3. Okay, but here we go. Actually, Koda might be able to stim in here and pick off an awful lot. These tanks actually in the background getting some huge shots off. And it looks like it's going to be a trade of units. But Wrath is going to continue his push. But now Koda can kind of just skirt around this a little bit. Oh my goodness, behind... Oh, no, it only got 4. Okay, the Raven doing some harassment behind this. But Wrath's army is only getting bigger and bigger, more tanks being added in, and if he can start pressuring this third base, that could be very, very scary for Koda. So these guys sit at a very even spot in this game. Ooh, nah. Oh, maybe. Another, actually, what looked like it could have been a pick for Koda, kind of turning the opposite way here, as it looks like a lot of this bio is going to just get picked off here. That's really rough here for Koda, who's kind of bleeding out some units. Now there's a siege up on the other side. Koda's going to get in there with the Marauders and start to shred this, but these Cyclones, are doing a lot of damage, and with these Hellbats and Hellions that can tank for him, these Cyclones can just absolutely dish out the pain. Wrath needs to get in position with more of his tanks, and if he wants to do further damage... Oh, we might be able to lock onto this. He's going to lock onto the Marauders instead. This is absolutely crazy here. I think Koda has enough units to throw this back, though. Yeah. He does, but at the same time, I feel like we're kind of evened out. They're both establishing their 4th bases. The upgrades are relatively even. And the army supplies are about even, which in TVT, if the army supplies are even, that means it's really hard to attack. Because in a lot of mirror matchups, defender's advantage can be absolutely huge. Now, at the same time, there are no tanks in position here at the 4th for Wrath. And if Koda can get on this with these Marauders, I mean, he can just absolutely destroy it. Ooh, Raven gonna go back into the natural. I like that. Oh, the turret's never finished. The turret's never finished. There's the turret, or yeah, the auto turret next to the turrets that never finished. But actually, across the map, we have another engagement, but it's just gonna be Koda picking off a few Hellbats, it looks like. That's so annoying. That's so annoying. Koda now taking a supply lead. He's actually getting it on this 4th base as well, but with mainly Marauders after the lift. He can't really do a lot about that, and Wrath's starting to get aggressive here. He's got Vikings, he's got Liberators, and he's got tanks. Oh, but actually Koda's getting on this before he's sieged. Oh, no. Absolutely devastating there for Wrath. When he's sieged, he can take that fight. Unsieged, he just... I mean, I guess technically he kind of trades, but... I mean, Koda is up so much in supply. He took out the 4th. No bases go down there for Wrath, or for Koda. And Koda's in an absolute dream position here. He might even be able to go in on this. Ah, with the tank sieging up behind, yeah, he's going to have to get out of there. He's got so many Marauders. 29 Marauders to 12 Marines. Holy cow. Ooh, these Liberators, though. Actually doing a decent amount. Still, though, I mean, I guess Wrath maintains the base count. I don't know, dude. I don't know. This is getting weird. Wrath still has 5 Vikings to 0 of Koda, which means air control is in his favor, and you can't... It's very, very difficult to fight into air control. Let's see how many tanks there are. If he's sieged, he can't take this fight, I don't think. Let's go to Koda's perspective here for a minute and see how he does this. He sees the big siege up, and he's going to back out of here. Actually, look, they play with the same color, guys. Look. Yeah. Yeah, you can't really fight into this. Oh, there's the siege up. He's going to try and go in. The first line of Marines melt to the tank fire, but actually he's going to get in on them, and he's going to take a few out. Great fight there by Koda, but all his medevacs are starting to go down as there's no Marines. Behind this, there's like a weird mech counterattack? There's a mech counterattack. What the hell are we seeing here? This is crazy. Koda's going to start to try and return home, but I feel like this might just get cleaned up. Actually, it's going to trade decently. A decent amount of biogas does go down. I feel like he wants to get some SCVs down here, and he can. But now, the friggin' Marauder army, dude. The Marauder army. 26 Marauders, dude. What a game 1 we have on our hands here in this best of 5. Absolutely crazy. As Koda, once again, now I feel like the lead has swung in his favor. I think. The 3/3 is going to finish any second now. Now, I guess the +3 attack here from Rath is coming up as well. These SCVs, like, or depots, I guess, just to spot. DVT always weird. Yeah, well, this one certainly is weird. Koda's Viking count now starting to grow, but I mean those mech upgrades again, they do help the flyers as well. So just throughout all of this, he gets +2 on his Vikings, which certainly helps. There's the +3 plating as well. I expect he'll go into air upgrades. So Koda's army is going to be pretty much Marauder, Viking, almost exclusive. I mean, 2 medevacs, 1 tank, 8 marines, like negligible other units. It's it's Marauders and Vikings. And Wraths is like tank Viking with very few hell. I guess a lot of Hellbats. I guess here's the fusion core. I feel like we're at the point of like we're not gonna kill each other with the ground armies. We're both maxed out. We're both banking up a lot of money, right? We're gonna do the late game air war, right? Look at these guys. They're maxed out. Neither of them getting aggressive. Typically, when you max out, that's like, oh, I've maxed out. I can replace the army I lose. I should go fight. Apparently not in TVT, or maybe actually. Here we go. Koda's got a huge surround coming in here. Oh my goodness, there's a big siege up. And actually, those Vikings are getting slaughtered. But I feel like we might see Wrath win the ground war, but not the air war. Oh, but that could be devastating because now the friggin' Liberators are going to go to town. Force the unsiege. And that went much better for Koda. That went much better for Koda. Now, Thors are being added in. Thors are weird. I mean, I guess they can really do damage to the Vikings, but Thors against Marauders, that's not a good trade. And Mines? Mine's a Drilling Claws, and yeah, this is kind of crazy. Here's the turret line here from Wrath. That's very annoying. Makes these Vikings very, very apprehensive about getting too close. There's mines scattered around. And, like, let's say, it's not a bad call, though, right? Look at how those Vikings bunch up. Like, let's imagine that 2 or 3 mines are there. They kill every air unit. Like, it's you know, not super likely, but if they're scattered around, like, there's a chance there, and that's a game-winning maneuver. Okay, here's the big siege up. Koda's getting in on the tanks. And I think he might have enough here. Yeah, with the Liberators, I mean, yeah, he's going to land the Vikings. Oh, but actually landing the Vikings dooms the Liberators. They're just going to lift them. There's the siege up. And after 20 minutes separating these two guys, it looks like, I don't know. I'm not even going to call it. I think, oh, but he's clearing it out, actually. Is there more bio? Yeah, there's more bio. He needs it. Okay, he's going to go get on this base, probably before it's a planetary. Yeah, before it's a planetary. Even more SCVs going down as well. Interesting spots, but okay. That base is going to go down. And I feel like Wrath is just, this is his hope in this game. It's been a slogfest of a game, but Koda's just taken consistently slightly better trades, and at this point, Wrath's hope is these mines. Is like, maybe that's not a bad start. 2 huge hits go off on every air unit. He now has the Viking advantage, and his Vikings, unlike his opponents, aren't almost dead. Oh, another Widowmine shot. Oh, these Widowmines actually are doing work. Holy cow. What are we watching? The Widowmine strategy? It turned out to be the, like, 19-dimensional chess play, I guess. Oh, if these Widowmines... No. They're not going to fire again, right? Okay, cool. But there's still some. Ooh, here's a big stim in, but the tanks are going to siege up in the background, and now they're going to get some huge shots off. And once again, Wrath has taken the supply lead. The tanks and doors are standing strong. He's cleared everything out. The mines are there. The mines. What the heck are we watching? This is like one of the greatest games I've ever cast. Holy cow. As now Wrath's back in the lead. Oh my god, what are we watching? He's got way more mech units. Oh, Koda supply is coming back up. He's getting turrets! He's getting turrets to secure the spot. He's clearing out the bases. Oh my gosh, behind this, I feel like Wrath needs to establish more bases of his own, which he is. He needs to get those mining. Especially the gas, I feel like. Koda's building 10 Marauders at a time. Oh my god, oh my god. Oh, the supply's even. Once again, the turrets are up. He's starting to clear out the mines, but Koda really needs to get all of his army together to try and fight this, but it's just not here yet. These Hellions in the background doing an excellent job at denying mining. Okay. The Liberators are going in, but there's too many Thors. There's too many Thors. The Vikings are going to try and land, and they're going to aggro some friendly fire, but it's not enough, and I think Wrath has done it. I think. He's up in army significantly. The workers are up. He's reestablishing his bases, and Koda's going to have such a hard time getting out enough consecutively to kind of follow this up. Another tank goes down. At this point, Wrath is just going to shell on this base, and it gets absolutely shredded by those +3 tanks. That's going to go down. More units bleeding in. Now, Wrath's going to make a move at this base as well. He's up 60 supply. Oh my god, dude. This is game 1. This is game 1. Oh my god, here come the Blue Flame Hellions. They could get so much damage done. No, he could have gotten so much damage done. I guess he's killing this base in the background, but... Yeah, Wrath kind of everywhere with these units. Gonna be able to shut a lot of this down. Oh, he's even gonna land and try and pick off some SCVs. But just 20 have gone down, and there's no medevacs here. He can't be stimming around or anything. And just everything here is costing Koda money. Money that he doesn't have to replace things. There's a big siege up. Here we go. I mean, Koda's going to go for a counter all in, but that seems like it's certainly ready to deal some damage to a counter all in. And it might lose the fight, but all he needs to do with this is wear this army down. And wear it down he will. Every Viking will die. And that means supreme air control. He can just get a few tanks. Just build up to the point where he can drop these Vikings and just kill everything. That stim, damage, or just health he'll never get back. Now he can just land on these, yep. He's even killing it with SCVs. Oh my god, dude. He's mining it down. GG! Wrath takes game number 1. Oh my god, dude. Oh. What a first, yeah, what a first game, yeah, you know? This is game one for you guys. Let's do. Both these guys maybe feeling like a little bit of fatigue after that 20-minute slugfest of a TVT. That's got to be crazy. All right, here we go. We all needed a minute there, I think. I know I did. They definitely did. We took a sec. We chilled after that mind-blowing game number one, and we're gonna get into game number two on Eternal Line. I'm waiting for like a really short and decisive game. I feel like it'd be really cool to see someone pull out a cheese after a long, crazy game like that, where you're in the late game and you're like, oh, everything's going on, it's crazy. I feel like throwing in like a Reaper all in game number two could be like a really cool move, but we'll speculate more when we see more. First, let's talk about our players in the bottom left-hand corner. The red Terran player, it is Wrath. Or it's Koda. Sorry, it's Koda. Um, I just saw him pop up on the chat. In the top right-hand corner, the blue Terran, it is Wrath. So thinking about this map, this was Koda's choice, which I find very interesting considering Eternal Empire is a notoriously good map for mech. That's because you have two kind of tricky entrances at attacking either the natural or the third base, and you have this cliff, which you can put tanks up here, and they can defend over here, and over here. Meaning, if he picks a known mech map, because Koda's a Terran player, he can play mech. He knows Eternal Empire is a mech map, and he picks that against a mech player. My guess here is that Koda has something specifically in mind. Both these guys, they're very, very good players, and not only are they good players in just playing the game, they're smart players in thinking about the game. And when you get to this level, these are the kind of questions you have to ask yourself is, If I have the strategies that I need, what maps and when do I pull them out in a competitive setting? And you get into a little bit of a mind game with your opponent there. So slightly faster factory here from Wrath, where it looks like it's going to be the Reaper expand here from Koda. Yep. So we see this in a lot of TVTs. One player opts to get the faster gas, the faster factory, kind of a little bit quicker of units that can get pressure out on the map, while the other player takes that quicker Reaper expand and kind of postures defensively with either terrain like the ramp or something like a bunker to kind of allow themselves to hold the pressure and maybe have a minor economic lead based on having the quicker expansion, if the slower factory. Expecting we see that CC very shortly here from Rathorne, though 1-1-1 before expansion. The 1-1-1, an old school meme, and Wrath, you gotta say he's an old school dude. That's certainly true. 1-1-1s can still be very, very good. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw him get maybe Banshees or something out. That's not something that's, out of Wrath's playbook. And I think it could be a really cool decision here. Let's see. He's got almost 200 gas backed up, which means he can afford a Banshee, he can afford clothing. No, it's just going to be the medevac. It's just going to be the medevac. So it's going to be the elevator play. Jump up with the Reapers, elevator the Hellions up, and, kind of forego any high ground advantages. He needs to get those units with the rest of his units, though. He's going to go around. That's the smart play when you have the medevac. Raven and Cyclone. Once those units are out, this aggression from Wrath is not really doable anymore, but actually picking off a Hellion, that's a great start. Again, like I said, once the Cyclone, the Raven are out, those are two very strong units that can shut this aggression down pretty hard. But those aren't here yet. I think Wrath needs to go, and he needs to go now. And he is going. He's going to try and jump on these units. A very delicate dance of micro we see here. Koda, I feel like just kind of trying to buy time for this Cyclone. He's going to bleed out a few workers here in the process. Now the Raven's out. Oh, if he can... He's going to use the auto turret, and actually he's just going to clean this up. All that for 2 SCVs? That's very worth it here from Koda, as the CC goes down now. But Koda's orbital is done. I mean, this is a monumental advantage here for Koda. And, I wasn't surprised. That is a very aggressive play there from Wrath. And it would be... I kind of thought we might see someone try that after such a long game number 1. But Koda looking very strong. Like, he might bounce back here in game number 2. But actually... no, he's still got the Cyclone. Yeah. And... he is just in a dream position right now. His worker lead is going to continue to grow. Oh, no way he gets that too. Well, he's using some energy. Oh, he might get a Hellion. He gets a Hellion. Okay. Even gets a Hellion. And now, I mean, Koda's just so far ahead. The third CC's done. Wrath is getting his on location, but that's just not good enough. Now these guys are kind of just powering up into the mid game, but Koda is powering up into a much, much, much stronger mid game. Feel like he can probably get out on the map and contest this third. And this would be a big map win here for Koda. I mean, on the map that, like, Wrath is probably the most comfortable on to take a win, it's got to be a good feeling. Oh, he's not going to be able to get it, is he? No, no, no. It's going to get away. It is. And now just every moment that he continues to deny this third base is a moment he gets further and further and further ahead. He's gonna try and retake this, and I mean, I guess he's got the siege count to get there, but he's gonna bleed out a few units in the process as well. Oh my goodness, now this is getting shot down. Revolt, why didn't you ask me, Killy, to help commentate this TVT with mech? Do it, dude. After this game, totally. Join me for the cast. This is only game... It looks like we're about to be 1-1, TBH. So we got a lot of series to go, so join me after this game, totally. So why is your name Exposed Lemon? That's another good question. But maybe we approach at a later date. But it does confuse me. This Koda's now up like 40 supply. Don't worry about that. All right, dude. Hey, I don't know. I'm not one to pry, man. I don't want to. If I don't need to know, I don't need to know. Yeah. But he's going to be able to posture at this third base. Will he, though? Will he, though? That's a lot of tanks. If you're in the chat, did you see game number 1, Kilimanjaro? Oh, actually, belay that, as we're about to see the droppingest of drops. Where's he going to do it? Where? In the main? Oh, the tanks are in range. But they're not that in range. This is actually pretty crazy right now. A lot of units are dying, but he does have a decent position here in the main. Does he, though? All these tanks are getting cleared out. He's got 10 SCVs, but he sacked a lot of army. I mean, I guess at this point he's economically ahead enough that he'll take pretty much any trade, but I mean, that didn't go that well for him. No, he's still very up on supply. His macro hasn't really slipped that much. And now he's gonna, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Tacking into that, also probably not a good plan, but the one Marauder going after the high value depot, and he's gonna get it too. And that's gonna supply block him, actually. That's pretty hilarious. That's a hero Marauder. Died to supply block the Terran. Now, once again, we see that crazy high Marauder count coming out. A tank drop. With another tank. A three tank drop. Totally normal. Yep. That makes sense. kill some Marauders, but that's a big drop. Probably headed for right there. And that's a big army, probably headed for right there. And that big line of tanks can't be everywhere. Here we go. The drop's coming in. There's not really much here to defend. That tank's going to get sieged up. The tank drop comes in, tries to take out the tank, but not going to be able to. So far, 15 SCVs have gone down. He's just going to drop on these tanks. Same time, he's going to try and... he might not want to do that. He's checkmating him over here. He doesn't need to attack into that. I mean... This army just not big enough for what Koda is going to be able to build back at home. Well, his own economy is absolutely gutted. And his Vikings go down. And as we foresaw a few minutes ago, it looks like Koda's going to even up this series. Nice. Nice, Micro. You like to see it. Strut your stuff while you got the dub. Like it, love it. Gotta have it. And now the rest of these Vikings are gonna die. And Koda should... Yeah, there we go. There we go. So we are going to go on to game number 3. And we are back with game number 3 here. But now we've got the mech expert himself. We went to the university. We found the doctor. We were like, hey, who's the guy that knows the most about mech in here? And they sent us this guy. So Kilimanjaro, how you doing?
Hey man, thank you for that introduction. Yeah, I'm a mech Terran. I only play mech in all 3 matchups. So I saw that Wrath was playing mech, so I think I can help dissect his play and kind of analyze what's going on in this game.
Yeah, and I assume that we're going to be very hypercritical of Rathorne throughout this whole process, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
build orders will be criticized.
Oh, you know what? Now you're talking my language. Now you're talking my language. All right, so let's look at how Wrath's opening in as far as not walling off. What do you think about that?
I think it's fine. This map especially because we're on Sim, you have the Reaper jump off, which he's trying to wall off or at least get vision of with the supply depot. The first thing to note in the difference in openers here is we have a double gas opener from Wrath and a single gas one from Koda. So we have Reaper fast expand versus double gas, probably Reaper pressure, and that's always an interesting opener.
Yeah, it's kind of what we saw last game as well, but Koda defended absolutely flawlessly.
So in Koda's position here, coming from Reaper expand, you have to be super careful not to lose the first Reaper, because if you do, you can actually just like lose the game instantly. So I'd be really curious to see how Koda handles this first Reaper. Sometimes it's a good idea to just like have an SCV with it, patrolling back and forth, just in case he YOLO sends his first Reaper across as well, because you literally cannot lose the first Reaper. But if he is able to pull it off, he will be having a little bit of an economic advantage with his CC going down obviously a little bit sooner.
Yeah, and I feel like you get into one of those spots, like in the last game we saw, you know, the big unit that Wrath had at his advantage, at least at first, was that medevac that allowed him to kind of micro and elevator those Hellions. I mean, the faster gas means the faster factory, so I feel like we might see a kind of similar push once again. Do you agree?
This is kind of standard. What's a little bit different here, though, is we do see the tech lab coming out on the factory right away. But I don't think that this is any sort of all-in, and that's kind of indicated by him having guys out of gas to kind of save up minerals here. He doesn't have them both full. However, this build is super funky right now. I'm a little bit confused by this early cyclone. So he actually could be
welcome to
putting on
this build
pressure.
is super funky, the mantra of those who watch Rathorne games. So welcome to the club, my friend.
Looks like it might just be unorthodox 3 Reaper 1 Cyclone push, which really might catch Koda off guard, especially because we see him going for this double Hellion. So if 3 Reapers and 1 Cyclone show up against 2 Hellions and 1 Reaper, like Koda actually could just lose the game here. This is a super weird push.
Yeah, I mean, he's going up for 2 more Hellions, but Hellions aren't Oh, well, he needs to... Okay, he is getting aggressive. Hellions aren't going to do that well against the Cyclone. Yeah.
He's got to stall for the 4 Hellions. So if I was in Koda's position right now, I'm going to see these first units come into the range of vision, pull back the workers, and then rally everything into the main. Or he could get lucky if Wrath overextends with these 2 first Reapers. But we all have to see it's going to be a little bit of a micro battle here. Ooh, aggressive scan, too. I'm really surprised that he did that. I would have just YOLO walked in. He does have the 4 Hellions. Koda might just go for it, honestly.
Yeah, and I think he can do it with all 4 of them. That's a pretty clean defense.
Yeah, that was really easy. I think Wrath was just a little bit off on his timing. Like, if you wanted to hit with this, he probably could have hit like 10 seconds earlier, in which case he wouldn't have had those 2 Hellions out. But Koda being in this position that he's in, he's super ahead right now from holding that.
Yeah, I mean, it really goes to show you when you're this good, the fine margins that there are. That fight with 2 Hellions versus that fight with 4 Hellions represents a drastic difference in how this game plays out. But with how Koda has been very crisp with his timings defensively, especially, I mean, we see the Raven coming up from him far before we see any real starport investment here from Wrath. I mean, I feel like Koda is sitting driver's seat in this game, and I don't think he's going to back off.
Yeah, the only scary part is now we have this part 2 push because he didn't lose that first Cyclone, which remember, and he's got Magfield. So, like, his Cyclones are probably 3 times as good as Koda's. So, like, this could be a real big problem,
And
seeing
that
as how we only have
Cyclone is
1 turret
sitting...
as well.
Look where it's sitting. It's sitting right in the front, too. He could run in and just lock onto it.
You're absolutely correct.
Yeah. Oh, no. He's going to do it.
Another scan. He's
Do it,
got
do it,
to
do it.
go.
He's got to go. He's going to go.
He should have
He
went
got
with
it with
everything.
one. He got it
He's
with
gonna
one.
get it, though.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. And now... Oh, he's just going to kill the Hellions. This is crazy.
Just like that, talking about little marginal timings, like, this game has just been flipped on its head. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, he gets a Reaper, but I feel like Wrath is just going to be looking for the lock-ons onto the opposing Cyclone at this point. Maybe he's just going to settle for workers, but even still, he's going to get a lot of them.
Koda is losing a ton of mining time with this. He's actually doing a lot of economic damage here. 8 SCVs going down so far, 3 more lock-ons. That's going to make 11.
Oh, huge damage. He's
The
going to
one
lose
kind of
this
saving
Reaper.
grace for Koda, though, is not only is he still up in workers, his 3rd is actually completed. So I'm not scared for Koda here at all, as long as he can just push this back. And it looks like Rat's going to take a foot off the gas here. So I think Koda's still in an okay position, but he was really ahead before, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I think that was more of like a start of evening it out there for Wrath, because he does have the big worker lead here, and that could compensate for the 3rd of Koda being way far ahead, although I do like him taking it on location here to kind of propel himself forward economically.
Yeah, I was actually mistaken when I said that Koda had more CVs. I got the colors mixed up. So yeah,
I do that
Wrath
all the
is
time,
up.
yeah.
Sorry about that. But yeah, you're absolutely correct.
And I feel like at this point we see him do a little bit more Cyclone play and then get into the, you know, the punch of mech, right? The tanks, the Cyclones, the Vikings, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, like, Koda's 3rd is done, but like, if Wrath is to walk across the map
Oh,
with
the
all these
Raven.
Cyclones,
He got the Raven.
ooh. Rat's job right now, especially because he just scanned the 3rd, if I was him, I would be moving out trying to deny this, but it doesn't look like he's moving out at all. Like, Rat's job right now, especially with all these Cyclones, is kind of just deny the 3rd, or else these Cyclones are going to lose value over time.
Yeah, so that's a good question. Obviously it's a pretty important transition when playing mech. What are like the key points or things you're looking for in terms of when and how to make that transition happen?
Right, so if I open up Cyclone, which I open up most games in TVT, if I see them going mech, I'm going to go up to 8 factories, no armories, and just keep going mech and containing them on 3 bases in a mech versus mech. However, if I'm versing a bio player like I identify Koda is right now, I am going to be starting to switch into the tank production, starting to switching into the Viking production as well. That's why we see the Starport coming up.
Yeah. And you're right, these Cyclones are going to be very dangerous at the 3rd. If he locks every single one of them onto the 3rd, it's going to lose HP very quickly.
It
Very.
does.
Oh my god. Oh my god,
Be
he's going
so
to it's dead.
close.
It's dead.
He's gonna get
It's
it. Yep.
he's just gone. He's going to bleed out a single Cyclone it looks like for the cost of that. Well worth it. Oh, maybe a second. No. Yeah, okay. But the unit trade inconsequential compared to killing the 3rd base.
Yeah, and if you go ahead and look at the income tab here, like, that's huge. He not only loses the CC, but let's not forget that's an orbital as well. So he's losing 1 mule in this mirror matchup where every single thing matters. And that's the power of this early Cyclone opening, right? If he didn't get that, he might be behind because it's just going to fall off. But like I said, he pressures the 3rd with it, does a really good job, actually takes out the base, and now he's looking in a really good spot. But ambitious push out here, and it's spotted by Koda right away.
Yeah. But he might just be posturing to take the 4th, maybe?
I'm not sure. In this position, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm ahead. I just killed the third. Let me just sit back, throw up a couple sensor towers, and like have a picnic. But like,
Yeah, but he scans that army, right? Which, let's look at the armies. That army can't really attack into him. I think this army, if positioned well, can defend, but Koda doesn't have the army to attack. I don't know if this is the best time to get aggressive. I feel like he could just take a fourth. Oh,
I
unless Koda
absolutely
runs
think.
into that.
Ooh,
Unless he runs into that. Oh,
yeah, exactly. Takes a
boom,
volley
boom. Never mind,
and just
tank.
like that,
Never
yeah.
mind, Tanko, boom. Like,
I think the safer play absolutely would have been to stay back, especially since like a bioturn, we don't know if he's dropping. It might get into a weird base trade scenario, but everything's working out for Wrath here, and
yeah. I mean,
now it's looking
you know
really
what? You
dire
know
for
what? You know,
Coda.
it's one of those scenarios where like maybe an economic play is a higher win percentage, but also Wrath he's an intuitive player. He smells blood in the water. He went for it, and clearly his intuition was correct.
He will probably lose 2 cyclones here, but get a tank, so Coda's gonna have a really,
He's gonna get two
really hard
tanks. Two
time.
tanks. Oh, two
Ooh.
tanks. Yeah, and a bunch of bio. Yeah, like Koda just he's pinned, right? Like he's just pinned.
Yeah, absolutely is pinned. Like Wrath, I just want to see a clean closeout of this game. Like I want to see like 1-2 started right now. Take a fourth base, add on some more production. Like spend your money,
Oh,
continually contain him, and honestly, this might just be GG. Like he's taking way too much damage here.
yeah. I mean, he clears this, but at the cost of a huge amount of his army and 13 SCVs. Behind this, Wrath already has an army, which already beats what Koda has. He's just going to go across and push again. Think you're getting a third Koda? Absolutely no chance. Absolutely no chance.
And the YOLO push from Wrath there kind of works out.
It worked
And
out super well, dude. Yeah.
like that's a push that I would have never done in a million years, especially against like Marauders and stuff. But it definitely works out. Catches Coda out of position,
Hey,
and
man.
now
Wrath, he's playing with some stones, you know?
listen, I'm gonna tell you how it is, right? I'm the Savage comic, so I'm just gonna come here and
Savage.
say what it is. Like that was a dumb push, but like the fact that it works out is like good for Wrath, you know?
All right, dude. Hey, man. Maybe you just need a little bit more savage in your play there, Kilimanjaro. Ooh,
I don't know
behind this, he's going to
Coda in
get the
this
fourth up.
position. Like I don't really know what to do, honestly. Like
Well, I mean, the answer is nothing, right? Wrath is
yeah,
establishing a fourth and a fifth simultaneously where Koda is struggling to establish a third on less army. That is a virtually unplayable situation.
I think Coda's just gonna go for the base trade, walk into the siege line, and probably tap out.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's really nothing you can do. I just want to see Coda. He's better than this, right? He's a really, really strong player. I've seen him do incredibly well, so I'd love to see like a really strong game 4 out of him.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we saw a very strong game 1 out of him. Wrath just kind of got the better of him a little bit in that initial match. The second one went fairly cleanly, but it looks like Wrath is going to be the first guy to be sitting in pole position here to take the series, and that's always a good spot to be. So here's, I mean, like you said, going for the base trade, but there's just
It's not
no,
gonna work.
yeah, there's just no army for him. Yeah, and his production's camped.
Games like this make Bio look horrible against Mech,
Yeah.
and Bio is really good against Mech. Like Bio technically can beat Mech every time if the Bio player plays correctly. Um, it's just hard. Like it's definitely hard though.
Yeah. And so far, we're trading matches here. Okay, it looks like Koda is chomping at the bit to go. No, no
Right
hesitation
away.
there. I was like, he might need a break. No, he does not want a break. He's got his map. He's ready to go. We're
Yeah,
good. Well,
posting him right
the
away.
countdown has started. That might be a record time there, Kilimanjaro.
Just going straight into it here.
Yeah,
That's exciting
like,
though. Good series.
yeah. I mean, he's fired up. I'm fired up. I'm excited. You know.
And it is something to note that Wrath is like 500 MMR lower than Coda, right? Like this is kind of an upset.
On form, definitely. Although Wrath, 3 or 4 months ago before he took a break from the game, was regularly hitting like 4.8, 4850.
Mm.
So this represents like a low point in his MMR in terms of like getting himself back into the game, but he's certainly a player that's capable of a very, very high level of skill, you know? But on form, you know, you're right. Like, Koda is just red hot. And Rat's coming back into things, and I still think I don't know. I think we at least get a game 5. I think Koda wins this game.
I'm definitely hoping for it. I think that this could turn out to be an excellent series.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
you know, Rathorne, like,
even if Wrath wins, it's already a great series, you know? Like, holy cow.
yeah, just thinking about why Wrath is like down 500 MMR, like it could be that his macro play isn't that bad, but he's dying to cheeses a lot as a mech Terran every single game on ladder. It's a scary place to be right now because there's a bunch of cheese.
Yeah. And like if he knows that's not coming from Koda, it's like, well, is Koda overall in a more solid place? Yeah, but that isn't always what's important. You can be a more solid player, but if you play the other player like in their wheelhouse, it could be fair ground, you know?
So double gas openings from both players, and we do see instead of the Reaper, he's opting for the Reactor. So I'm gonna be curious what exactly Koda goes for with this. It could be double Reaper. Could be a quick double Hellion. I don't really see this build too often at all. But if I were to scout this with my SCV, I would be thinking like, what the hell? Like, is this just some cheese? Because we don't see Kodo taking any guys off gas. So like, this could just be an all-in, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Whereas we do see guys off gas for Wrath, so I would assume that he's going to be adding on the CC here shortly after the factory completes. So if I'm in Wrath's position, yeah, we do see double Reaper coming out. This
Yeah.
could be a little bit of a cheeky timing. Ooh, and he goes for Tech Lab first. It's a little scary seeing as how we're gonna have double Reaper Hellion coming across the map before the Cyclone is even out. And no wall again.
Yeah, that's a good point. No,
And
he's
this
got
first Reaper might just die here. If he jumps
yeah.
into the main, he's dead insta.
Okay, wait, he's going around.
Oh
Oh,
shoot,
he's
this is
dead.
really
He's
bad for
dead.
Wrath.
Yeah. Oh, is he? Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Oh, what the Coda?
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah, he's
dead.
dead.
It's dead. Yeah. Is it dead though? It's dead. It's dead.
Like, let's not forget that Reapers actually have pretty high DPS, so like they can take out a Cyclone. Like if they're gonna walk across the map now with like, I don't know how many. Oh, he's doing the Maru build. Okay. So the way that
Okay, okay.
I mean, I see this and I say he's okay doing the Maru build, but the correct choice is actually not to get the siege tank here. If Wrath were to identify this, he wants to just get out multiple cyclones because what's going to happen here is he's going to be lifting off into the medevac over and over again, and you really need to take out that medevac. That's like the most important thing about this push. So like I go for Raven Cyclone against this, and it works and it defends it perfectly. It's just going to come down to micro here. Like if he loses this first Cyclone and the tank is out of position and not sieged up and doesn't get the first shot, like this could be deadly.
Yeah. Now the tank is gonna come out like on a T here. He needs to get it sieged up in a
Siege
good
it
spot.
insta.
Yeah, siege it. Okay. It's not really in the spot he wants, I don't think though. I feel like he wants it defending so he can get that expansion up. Now there's yeah, don't go out on the map. Don't be gotta be careful.
Ooh, Cody's gonna take a tank shot here. It's really gonna hurt.
Is he though? Oh, he
I
locks onto the
don't know.
medevac.
That's really good.
Yeah. The medevac goes down.
Yeah, this
Oh
got
no,
defended.
don't need a huge as long as he
This is
doesn't
fine
need a
for
huge
Wrath.
shot.
This is
Okay, yeah.
fine.
I just was the SCVs lined up there for a second, and my heart stopped.
Yeah,
Okay, you know I've faced those friggin' Hellions in PvT too much, dude. When I see the workers line up and there's Hellions, I freak out, man. Ugh. But yeah, you're right. That's a great hold.
it is a good hold. I still like Coda's position though. I think he's just like set up on the 1-1-1 a little bit faster than Wrath. Like he's already got starport production. He's going for like double factory here, which is really scary seeing as how we have Vikings coming out for Coda. So he can just like literally get a siege tank, get vision, and there's not going to be enough scans around like 6 to 7 minutes. And he could just do a huge push here. But so if I'm Coda and I see that he has no starport, that's what I'm thinking in my head. Let's do a marine tank push. So I would just like to see if like Coda identifies this and moves out or not.
Yeah,
Because
it's
if
a
he
lot
doesn't,
more
then Wrath could
factories.
be in a good spot. Because then it's gonna like just like last game, he's got Magfield and then he's denying the third. The way you counter this is the Red Terran is pushing out before then and actually doing a little tank push on 2 bases. Triple factory, no starport. Huh.
Welcome to Rathorne.
Yeah, this is definitely
Beating
unorthodox for sure.
up on Koda right now, ladies and gentlemen. You know, like, he's going in. I don't know how I feel about this.
This is bad.
If I was Protoss, I'd be happy because I have recall, but he does not have recall, meaning he is stuck in a corner.
Damn, how the hell does Koda... I'm sorry, not to curse, but like, how the heck does
Yeah, you
Koda
can
lose 8
curse. I don't
workers
care.
to that? He could have just pulled them up to the main and lost absolutely nothing. That's just sloppy play. It really is.
Yeah.
No reason to lose that, especially because you have tanks in position. You just go ahead and you box all the workers from the natural and just move them up to the main. And this is went from bad to worse for Koda. I did not know this 3 Helliot or this 3 Cyclone run by at 6 minutes could do this much damage. Like,
It almost got the natural, dude. Welcome to
that was
Rathorne.
horrific.
Welcome to Rathorne.
These games are just confusing. Like he's doing things that I know should not work. He walked 3 Cyclones into the natural with 2 tanks. Like Cyclones get 2 shot by tanks. Like that's literally 1 volley if he just moves it up and moves workers away. And I mean, this was the scary part that I'm talking about, right? Like he did lose a Cyclone, so this is what he's vulnerable to. But like Koda's making this way too close because if this doesn't do any damage, Wrath just wins.
Yeah, but he's got a big army supply lead.
This could just kill
Yeah.
Wrath right here. We got to see if the Cyclones have to be in
He's
front
got
right now.
nothing on the production tab in Far's army. He needs units. That's 3 tanks. You can't eat tank shots. Koda?
Wrath's got to buy time for these tanks to come out, and he has to start saving scans because he doesn't have air control.
Not
He's got
even
no scans.
close. I think Koda can just push these 3 tanks to victory, TBH.
But Koda's got to go fast. That's the thing in TBT, right? Like
Yeah.
he has to push his advantage right away, or else what? These 2 tanks are gonna come up in the high ground, and then what? Like Koda's already behind on workers. He's down 20 workers.
That's true. Oh.
Like Koda's got to go, man.
But like Wrath's getting a Liberator. A Liberator does nothing here. A Liberator does literally nothing.
People do against me. I don't understand. I have air control and they make libs. It's the most frustrating thing. It makes no sense.
He's like, oh, yeah.
You see that range advantage comes into play with these air units. And
Yeah,
it's just nothing
yeah,
Wrath
air
can do.
control's important. Like, this Liberator's gonna, what, like, siege up and then die to Vikings, or stay back, and the only good thing it can do is counterattack. That's the only good thing it can do.
Now that scan is important right there because it makes it so Koda can't come in range without taking shots, right?
Yeah,
So he has to keep saving scans.
He actually bleeds out a lot of Marines.
Ooh.
And that army supply's starting to
kill that
even up.
Kill the lib.
Right away, he's like, oh, shit. It's the
That's not a
Vikings.
scan. He does, okay. But Koda just letting this 3rd base just chill.
I mean, and now every second that goes by gets better for Wrath, right? Like,
exactly. He's got 2 tank production coming out, Liberator production, a little bit questionable, but
oh,
okay.
is he gonna land the Vikings? Yes, he is. Okay, and then Wrath's gonna go for it by pulling the boys.
Yeah, but that leaves the tanks exposed to the lib, actually.
The Liberator all along. Oh my god, dude. The Liberator was the secret
And
hero.
somehow it works out. I mean, I don't know how it always works out, but it does. Wrath knows something that we don't.
It was the Liberator. What the
Now, if
heck?
I'm Wrath, I'm setting these 2 libs across the map to go harass. Like, the libs could win you this game right now.
Yeah, but there's so many Vikings on the field. Now, I think he just chills, right? He's on 3 base. His opponent isn't. He lost a lot of workers, but he's still up on him. He's
Wrath
got
is just not macroing well. He's just like, these factory positions are terrible.
well, he
It's really
lost. He
scary.
lost a lot of factories. He's rebuilding them because he lost all of them in the main to the Viking. Oh no! Now there's there's another Liberator. That's a problem. That's a big problem. Wrath being unable to make units because his production died, also turning into a gigantic problem for him.
This game has gone back and forth so many times. I thought that Wrath would win for sure. Then I thought Koda would win.
I know, dude.
still
What
think
is
Koda will
this
win.
series, dude? I went into this like, ah, nice, normal old series, you know, just be a quick cast, and now, like, whew, we're at over an hour's runtime of crazy, sick TVT action. So I don't know, dude. I'm gonna stop. I don't even know what to think anymore. I think we're going to game 5. I think that's something I can say for certain at this point. Even though like 5 minutes ago I said Wrath was gonna win. Yeah.
I think Wrath was definitely in a position to win, which makes this series cool. Like, it wasn't a dominating. Like, Koda could have lost this game for sure. He
Yeah.
didn't get rolled over.
It's the story of this like series. It's just been leads swinging back and forth wildly. I mean,
That's
even
why, like,
still,
air
he's
control's
getting
so
these
good in
Vikings.
PvP.
Or I mean, I guess eventually he cleans it. And they
I
are
don't know
even
how
on.
this
And they
game
are
is
even
looking.
on workers. I don't know,
This
dude.
game is actually
Okay,
close
okay,
still,
wait,
and
wait,
this is
hold up,
like a
hold up,
sitting
hold
third.
up. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. He cleared the army. They're even on army supply. They're even on workers. He's got 1-1. Engineering bays aren't done yet. If Wrath reestablishes his production, which it looks like he has started to, he's kind of ahead.
I have no idea, honestly. I thought Koda should have killed him with that push. I think I would have killed him with that push. I don't know what is going on,
This
but
Liberator's going to
he's
run into
literally eating
Vikings.
that out. So priority number one for Wrath is definitely defending this new base, and we see that
Yeah.
Koda's coming over here to attack it right away. So like, his Cyclones need to be there ASAP, and like that's his saving
Oh.
grace right here.
Yeah, he needs to get on that. He's going to bleed out a lot of SCVs.
Cyclone's got to go, Wrath. There you go.
But still, 12 SCVs, that's a lot of damage.
You are right about the upgrade advantage, though. That is something that Wrath is definitely ahead on, and +2 is like a really good upgrade, especially versus Bio. So if he can get that up, this game is kind of stabilized.
Somehow, some way. With Rat's third base over here. That's actually a huge deal, though, right? Like, we're laughing about it, but he's a mech Terran. You want to have, like, close consecutive bases that you can defend together with tanks. This base
Absolutely.
is not conducive to that at all. It's going to be the
Wrath's
most.
move out timings are just so weird. Like he was going to attack there. In what world, like as the mech turret, I'm thinking you got to defend, and he was trying to go attack. He's so YOLO.
He's so YOLO. Welcome to Rathorne.
Ooh, he has air control. He needs to walk in with those Vikings and protect that lib. But the Vikings do take down his Liberator.
He needs to just kill the Medivacs and the Vikings, I think. Oh, I don't know how I feel about this. Actually, maybe it'll be fine, I guess. I don't know.
Good cleanup for Wrath.
Yeah. Oh, especially if he gets these Vikings as well.
And the next push coming out from Koda. It's just constant fighting back and forth with these little skirmishes.
Koda's like, now I got this more on me. Let's see how this one does. I still feel like Koda's wearing him down, though, right? Like, yeah, like, here we go.
Yeah.
Like, it's, these tanks actually, I don't know. It's just not enough.
Like if Wrath was in position to defend
GG.
his third, he could have came back in this game for sure.
Ugh, another great game, dude. Ugh, as Koda decides, you know what, we're gonna have a great game. So let's go to game number 5, you know? Holy cow. That's a good point. Let's see. We played Nightshade, Eternal Empire, Simulacrum, and Everdream. As here we,
Hello?
yeah, here we are loaded in to game number 5, spawning in the weird right half of the map because there aren't really corners on this one. It is Koda.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we do have the blue Terran, Wrath.
Oh, really? Are you sure? Because I'm looking in the top left-hand corner there, Kilimanjaro, and I'm seeing an empty base.
I don't know, like, what is this position actually?
I
Like,
guess
I
like
want to call it top left.
it's like 12 o'clock, right? I
Yeah,
guess
12
is what
o'clock.
you would
That's right.
say.
Yep.
And like
Map looks a lot
I
like
guess it's 12
Scrapyard
o'clock
from
and 3
me.
o'clock. I guess, right?
Yeah, that would make more sense. Top
Yeah.
left, it's just an empty base, so
I
don't
was
look
gonna
at
say
top
I
left
was looking in
actually.
the top left there, man. I don't see shit. I don't know. So I don't know how much like series play you've played, Kilimanjaro, but like 2-2. Do you think that changes like how you would approach picking your strategy?
If I'm in this position, I'm just thinking like consistency will win me this series because I see these players kind of like throwing the lead back and forth like hot potato. So if one player gets a lead and is able just to maintain it, I think that's really what's going to win them this game. I would just like to see more consistency out of these players, like one player just winning from start to end and like clean finishes, because
Yeah,
these
I mean,
games are really
the
sloppy.
closest we saw to that was game 2 with Koda, right? Like,
Right.
um, the rest I agree have kind of been like crazy pants all over the place.
And in TBT, you don't really see that often. Like my ladder games in TBT and in tournaments usually go one way or the other in each game, because it's really easy to snowball a lead in this matchup, which makes me think that these players are like maybe a little bit nervous, or I don't really know exactly what's going on. By the way, they're definitely entertaining games, and I want the best player to win.
Ooh, hoo, hoo. But who is the best player? Dun dun dun. I guess we'll find out.
We've been in this situation before. We have the double gas opening from Wrath and the single gas Reaper expand from Koda. Probably going to be going for those Hellions afterwards, after this Reaper for Koda. And we have the Tech Lab opening. He's really liking this Cyclone opening first for Wrath.
Yeah, I mean, another thing to note here is that, like, not only is this a game 5, but, like, somehow we live in a world where we have a Wrath Coda losers round 2. Right? The
Round
loser.
two.
Yeah, losers
Wow.
round 2. Yeah. Meaning the loser of this is eliminated. This isn't the winner's bracket. Um, it's one and done at this point for both these guys.
I think mentality-wise, like that's definitely got to play into it a little bit. Like these
Yeah.
players, they are human, right? They're probably feeling a little bit of nerves, and especially in this tournament, it's a lot of bragging rights for sure. So this is a really important tournament for me playing because I like playing against clanmates. So I think Koda and Wrath probably feel the same way, where you want to do good in front of your teammates for sure. You want
Yeah,
to put on good games.
and I mean, I feel like especially a dynamic that I actually look forward to you getting a part of is we've always had our a bunch of good Terrans in this clan that get a little competitive with each other, and there's a little bit of that on the line here too.
That's
Like,
absolutely correct. Yes.
yeah, like the Terrans are always like, we respect each other, but we also want to be better than each other. Like it's just this is the way it happens.
It's
And
just a
these guys
super
like,
unorthodox game right now, though. Like we have Battle Mech opener versus Battle Mech opener. I haven't seen this in a very long time.
yeah,
So double factory from Koda. He's doing it correctly though. This is the way that I would do the build. I would get the reactor on the Hellions, and I would get the mag field on the Cyclone. So I do prefer Koda's way of getting into Battle Mech here. I think it's a lot cleaner.
yeah, but his mag field is a lot slower.
It is, but he does have those Hellion buffer, and let's not forget, like or Ras expansion is just coming up now, whereas Koda's already mining it with 8 workers and 2 mules, and he's dropped another mule already. So like this orbital's been up for an entire cycle longer than Wrath. So that's a big income advantage.
That's true.
I would like to see Koda probably move this barracks a little bit further in the map so he can actually react to the drops a little bit faster with these good game zones, as Ris3n called them.
The good games. Oh, I love the good game zones, dude. The good game design zones, yeah.
And Koda probably just saving up for his third right now. He has been taking the more economic route each game. I find that Wrath's kind of going for these like 2 base pushes. Like there's no third in sight for him, and he's got 3 factories up.
Yeah, and
And we see Koda throwing it down his third right now.
Yeah, and he's kind of getting ahead in supply as well. Now, there could be an engagement here before the mag field is done, but overall, like you said, with that Hellion buffer, it doesn't look like it super matters.
Yeah, if Wrath wants to win this, he's got to just exactly. He's got to lock on right away, right off cooldown, and he will eventually come up on top. But he's got to be super careful not to lose a cyclone like that.
Like that, yeah.
I just think that Koda might win this game on a straight build order advantage. Like this is what it looks like in TVT when you have a clean build order versus one that kind of is just like kitchen sink. This is what it looks like. Like Koda is just ahead in every single way. And he might have noticed that. Like he might have noticed like Wrath going for these weird builds that makes no sense and it's not actually a build order. And then Koda comes out here with an actual build order, even though it's bad. Like these builds are not good on ladder, but it's better than what he's doing. So like battle mech versus battle mech, I think Koda's ahead here.
Yeah. It's like an interesting reactionary play, you know?
It absolutely is. Yeah, this is something that comes on a Game 5 series, I guess.
Yeah,
Like this wouldn't come Game 1.
you're like, well, I would never do this like blindly, but I'm doing it now. Like,
It's interesting to note here. Both players are in the correct thing, not going for the armory. And
that's a
big
huge
engagement
pick. I think oh, actually, it's gonna be the turn. It actually looked
here. Yeah,
initially
with
like
that
Wrath
alien
was gonna.
buffer,
Yeah, it looked like initially that was gonna be good for Wrath, but actually he's just gonna get cleaned
that's
up here.
GG.
Yeah, he's got
That's GG.
nothing. He's got nothing. A few Hellions and Cyclones coming out, but I don't know if it'll be. Oh, yeah, a lot of SCVs going down.
That's GG. It's over. Especially like they're not only playing the same race, they're going for the exact same comp. And Koda has 2 more factories and a 3rd base up. There's absolutely no way that Wrath can come. Like all Koda has to do is not botch this. Like he just make cyclones or make hellions and then F2 them across the map and it's GG.
Yeah, so many workers going down.
I really like this play from Koda. I think it's super creative way to deal with the Rat's play. Like just do his build but better, and then this is what happens.
That's so many Cyclones.
And I think Rat's just come across the map right here, but we have 3 cyclones coming out for Koda, and it should just be over. And if I'm in Koda's position here as well, like I'm not going into anything else. I'm not adding on a starport. I'm not adding on more factories. I'm just literally producing on what I have.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Just more SCVs, more Hellions, or more
Yeah, that's
Cyclones.
literally it.
Yeah, maximum
Transitioning
Cyclone.
to anything here is just a death sentence. You need to just keep doing exactly what you're doing. You're ahead, and there should be no way for Wrath to come back. But we do see a little bit of a run by coming in by Wrath, and the 3rd base being canceled by Wrath by that double Hellion run
Yeah,
by.
Wrath's gonna be retreating back home, and in the process, might get intercepted by a much larger force. And I feel like Koda could just a move into the natural right now.
I think Koda should just add on 3 more factories here, go up to 8 4 base. This would be the perfect response. This is something that Froby would do in this situation. And he's a mech Terran god. And yeah, he just A-moved that tank, that's dead instantly. And just keep insaning him until you're up 200, and you A-move him with this battle mech army. Definitely has to add on more factories though, and also saturate the gases at his 3rd. Adds on the 4th, should be 3 more factories right now. That's the correct build order. Ooh, he's adding up starports?
Oh, they both are.
Okay, super weird. The starports make no sense.
Vikings.
Against Cyclones? It's the wrong choice.
Good point.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I don't know why. I think Koda just doesn't play mech a lot. This is what this shows me. Like, if we're in the same position here and I'm making more Cyclones, if we're mirrored, like these Vikings are going to do nothing. I don't know what they're for.
Liberators.
I mean, it could be Liberator for Harass, but why would you
Okay.
get on the double for it?
How about this? How about this? Medivacs so that you can Medivac micro to break the lock on.
Listen, any way we look at it, this doesn't make sense. Like, you can...
Nah, dude. I think it's for Medivac micro so you can break the lock on.
Ooh, Hellion run by the natural here, and he's lining up all the workers.
He only gets 4. Well, though. You just don't understand the true value of Medivac micro.
You know, the interesting part of this game revolts is they both added on the starports, and both of them are producing absolutely nothing out of them. That's the thing. Double starport, no production of any of them. Because I realize they can't make anything that's actually good here.
Well, they have a no air units 20 rule, so
Oh, okay, I see.
it's one of the many important rules of this tournament. No air units until 20 minutes into the game.
Like, Koda, with him not going 8 fact and just A moving him on 200 supply, is letting him potentially get back into this game, which is
No, I
really
mean
scary for me.
he can just he's got too much, right? Like
I hope so. Koda deserves to win this game, and if he throws it, it's just nerves. Like there's nothing else to say. It's just nerves. And if he walks into this tank line and it doesn't go well,
I think he is gonna walk into this tank line, and it is
yeah,
gonna go
it's just
well.
gonna go
Yeah, I
well.
was gonna say like
It's too
he's gonna
much.
walk into the tank line. It's gonna go very well. Look how well that went, Commander. That went so well.
Thing is, it could have went bad, right? If Wrath was in position with 3 more tanks in the natural, if he moved them sooner, like it's just so much opportunity for Wrath to come back in this game, which is scaring me for Koda, seeing as how the series is going.
I don't see it. Oh my gosh, all the SCV is going down. He's gonna take out a few tanks on his way out as well. And I mean,
Surely this has to be it, right?
yeah, that's 20 workers going down. I mean, Koda's overwhelmingly ahead in army supply. Wrath is microing his last 2 Hellions. Koda's microing the tank, okay?
Yeah, and this should just be
Nah,
GG.
there's just more units, yeah. His 2 Hellions are not going to get it done. What a series we've had, but Koda is going to find himself to be the victor here after a absolutely insane series.
These players were just like on a seesaw, like just back and forth over and over again. Nobody knew who was ahead. That's called GG.
GG is called. And Koda is going to be the one to move on in the loser's bracket. I believe he faces the loser of who does he face? I think Swarm and Steven. So that'll be an interesting match.
That's a ZVZ, right? That's for sure an interesting series. I want to watch that.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be a crazy one. It's 2 really good players. But I think that that's going to do it for us here. Let me see. I'm gonna raid Ren. And thank you everybody for watching because that was really cool.